makers, for the third week of our cooking how-tos, I'm going to show you how to make onigiri, or Japanese rice balls. These are a good way to use up leftover rice, and you can also use them for a quick meal or to add to lunch boxes, or even to make a quick grab breakfast the night before. I'm actually not going to go over how to do the cooking part in this video, just assembly. The only cooking involved is in making the filling, and the filling can be whatever you want it to be. Today I'm making rice balls out of salted and grilled salmon. I've also made teriyaki chicken rice balls, or used chicken and red onions cooked in soy sauce. One of the most popular fillings in Japan is pickled plums, but I haven't been able to find those locally, so I just use what I've got. Whatever you choose, your filling should have a strong, preferably salty flavor to stand out from the mildness of the rice, and it should be dry so that your rice ball doesn't fall apart. I'm also going to be adding a lot of salt to my rice ball, so it's not just bland rice. You can add more or less salt to your preference. You'll of course need rice, which should be white and medium grain. I use Calrose rice because it's easy to find and it sticks together really well. Long grain rices won't stick together very well, and you'll just have a mess on your hands. I've got a pot of rice that I made yesterday, which I'll be using up. You can use warm, fresh cooked rice or day-old rice, but if you've refrigerated it overnight, you'll want to warm it up a bit so it's easier to work with. You'll also want some sheets of nori. This is easy to find on the international aisle of any grocery store. It kind of looks like a dark green or black paper, but it's actually a type of seaweed that's been pressed into sheets, and it's used to make sushi as well as to help rice balls hold their shape. One side of the nori is textured and will stick to the rice really well, while the other side is smooth and almost glossy and helps give a finished look. Because of how they're made, nori sheets can be super easy to cut with scissors. I want several strips about 1.5 inches wide. You can omit the nori if you choose, but I always make multiple rice balls at a time, and the nori helps keep them from sticking to each other. Now there's different ways to assemble the rice balls. The traditional method is to use your bare hands, washed and sprinkled with salt, but I find that to be a bit messy. It's easier for me to use a small bowl and a sheet of plastic wrap. Take your plastic wrap and press it into the bowl. Start by sprinkling in some salt, then using a fork add a layer of rice. It should be a thick enough layer that you don't see the bottom of the bowl, but not so much rice that your rice ball ends up being huge. The more rice balls you make, the easier it'll be to tell how much rice to use. Sprinkle in some more salt, and then add your filling right into the center. You usually don't want the filling showing, so you won't be adding very much of it, and you'll surround it with some more rice before adding the last bit of rice on top to cover it. Fold the sides of the plastic sheet loosely over the rice ball and then lift it out of the bowl to start to shape it. The traditional rice ball actually has a triangular shape. This is because the natural shape your hand makes is an angle. You can opt for a more rounder rice ball, or even try some more unusual shapes. To make the regular triangle shape, press the rice together with your hands through the plastic sheet. You'll have to rotate it as you're pressing it, and you might have to rearrange the plastic sheet in places to help you achieve your shape. Once you've gotten the shape the way you want it, pick one side to be your bottom. This is where you're going to add the nori sheet. If you have any filling that's poking through, you can easily cover it with the nori, which is what I usually do. I generally pre-cut my nori sheets, but you can also measure the exact length and width that you need once you have the rice ball shape formed. So just add that sheet of nori on, press it in place, and ta-da! The rice ball is done. It may take a little bit of practice to get the shaping down right, but once you have it down, the assembly is super easy to do. I like to add some more salt on top, or there's different styles of rice seasonings you can add as well. And of course you can eat this right away, or add it to a lunchbox, or store it in the fridge for about a day. Thank you for watching along. I'll talk to you all again on Thursday for our live Maker Show and Tell. Until then, keep making!